I've had a video card after video card after video card just outright die on me or just not function as it should. This is now my fifth replacement card I've gotten. My fourth from Power Color. This time they gave me a 6600 XT. So I got myself my very first ray tracing card. And even this card is acting up. So right now it's working completely fine. The temperatures are fine both on the GPU and the CPU. Everything is functioning as it should. So I'm going to finish up the daily login quest that you do in Genshin Impact and come back. Alright, it's 8:18 p.m. I had about 11 hours of sleep, I believe, so I slept for a very long time. So let's see what this thing does when I try to turn it on. Interesting. Normally when it does this, the CPU fan will rev to 100% and then rev down and then rev to 100%, basically fluctuating over and over again. This time it's completely silent. But as you can tell, I have no image on my monitor. Even though earlier today before I went to bed, you saw me playing Genshin Impact, everything was working completely fine. And yet, when I go to turn the computer back on when I wake up again, it doesn't post an image. And this time it looks like it's actually booting into the OS, but I don't get an image at all. So since it seems to be booting into the OS, let's disconnect the HDMI cable and plug it back in. Now, we'll light up for a second because it's detecting the source, but it goes to detecting to a DisplayPort and an HDMI 2. So I'm getting no image whatsoever. Doing this kills hard drives. I have a 500 gig drive right here in the hotspot bay, and every single time I cut power to this thing, I hear the heads click, and I don't know how many times I can do this before the drive just dies. And now, it finally displays an image. And now it's finally booted. So now I can continue using my system as normal. I shouldn't have to do this. This is unacceptable. And like I said before, this is now the fifth card I've practically replaced every single component of my computer, excluding the processor. That's the only other thing me and my father can think of that could be causing this issue. You know why? Because my RX 580 works completely fine. I do not have any issues with this card. This is bought used off eBay for 150 bucks before the koof hit the United States. So why is a used card that I bought off eBay works completely fine, while a brand new RMA replacement a brand new RX 6600 XT that I got as an RMA upgrade again is dead or in a semi-working order? Power Color said that this is a brand new card. And it goes, and that is correct, because if you get a new card, as they heat up, they have a unique smell. So if anyone's had a new card and let it heat up and smell what it smells like, you know what a new card smells like. So this is in fact a brand new card, even though it's in an RMA box. So again, the only other thing I can think of is the CPU, like I mentioned before. So give me a second. Here are all my old components and my new components. My original motherboard replaced. Original power supply replaced. Motherboard replaced with this $230 motherboard. Power supply replaced with a $130 power supply. And yet, even with completely upgrading the core components, I still have these issues. Again, the only other thing I could think of is replacing the CPU, which is a first gen Ryzen 5 1600. And of course, I also need to include my computer case right here. This is about another 150 bucks. My father tied in nearly around like $500 $600 worth of upgrades to try and resolve these issues. Not granted, he didn't have to buy this new case for me because the M1301 I got was doing just fine. But I wanted a smaller footprint case, hence why I wanted to get this. And this was supposed to be my Christmas present and whatnot. That's the only reason why I was willing to fork out all the money he spent on these components to try and resolve this issue of my cards either dying, or in this case, semi-working to where I gotta constantly power cycle my system over and over and over again. And again, if I put my RX 580 back in this system, I do not have any of these problems whatsoever. And then I had to put this thing somewhere away because, well, it doesn't work right. And this is supposed to be like I said, this is a brand new card. So to those that are saying it's my motherboard, it's my power supply, no, it is not.